Welcome back to The Sweat. I'm Jesse Cofield, and I'm joined now by RotoWire's AJ Scholz, who's going to help us make sense of this very small two-game NHL slate. So, AJ, last week of the regular season, all playoff spots are clinched, so let's make it easy on the people who are playing this small slate. Who's your favorite high-priced option tonight?
I'm not sold on paying up for the Bruins and Capitals at the top of this lineup, as it figures to be a tough matchup. And it's hard to know exactly what you might get from Ovechkin or Carlson as they return from injury. So my most expensive player tonight is going to be Mark Scheifele. He's coming in on a 3-game point streak, is a heavy favorite against the woeful Canucks, who are allowing 3.26 goals per game this year. And by not going big on those guys, you can affordably stack that entire Winnipeg first line with Kyle Connor and Blake Wheeler, who come in at 6,700 and 5,800 respectively.
All right, where can the people find value in these two games?
Well, I think Anthony Mantha at less than 5K tonight is an absolute steal, especially, if he's on that first line with Ovechkin and potentially Evgeny Kuznetsov, both potential to come back. Look, Mantha's price drop is due to a 7-game goal drought, but let's not forget that coincides with Ovechkin's absence. I don't think Mantha is the type of player that can, carry a line by himself, but playing with those two powerhouse guys in Ovi and Kuznetsov, I think is going to be what it takes to get him back on the score sheet here.
Okay, so over on the sportsbook, both these games have totals of 5.5 goals. Which one do you think is going to go over?
Oh boy. I think I'll look at the Jets Canucks. I could see both these games going the under, but as I mentioned, Vancouver pretty weak defensively. The goaltending is all out of sorts in Winnipeg, whether it's Connor Hellebuyck or somebody else. It just hasn't been very good. The Jets do have one of the best power plays in the league, converting at 23.4%. Should be able to, really pepper the Vancouver netminder. That team is allowing 33.4 shots per game. So I think of the two, that's the one that I most favor going on the over.
All right. Are there any props that you like tonight?
Well, based on that shot allowed rate that I just mentioned in Vancouver, I'm looking to player props tonight, and that's Mark Scheifele and Blake Wheeler, both of whom come in at plus 115 to have over 2.5 shots tonight. The Canucks also have the 4th worst in the league in terms of penalty minutes per game at 9.42. So that's going to be plenty of opportunities for Scheifele and Wheeler on that number 1 power play unit to put pucks on net. And I really love that you can get some value on those guys as well. If you look at their line mate, Kyle Connor, you're actually giving up juice at that same mark. So I'll take Wheeler and Scheifele instead to get the value.
All right, we're doing Slated Pick a little differently today. So with all the playoff matchups set, we want to know your Stanley Cup winner. Avalanche are the current favorite at plus 450. Then it's Vegas, Carolina, Toronto, and Tampa Bay rounding out the top 5. Do you like one of those teams? Or, do you see a dark horse team possibly lifting Lord Stanley this summer?
A 5-second look at my Twitter handle, you're going to see that I'm all Penguins all the time. That's not going to change. I really do think at plus 1,300, that's a fantastic value play. They've benefited from the addition of Jeff Carter, giving them a third line that's really hard to match up with. But coming out of the East is going to be tough for anybody. I don't love Colorado's depth at forward. They're really too reliant on that top line. Brandon Saad being out for a while is not going to make that any better. And so for me, of those top groups, I think you have to look at Carolina at plus 650. It's not a fluke that they won the division. They have tremendous depth at forward, solid net mining, and one of the top offensively gifted blue liners in Dougie Hamilton. There just aren't many flaws with this team, and they're going to come out of an easier division in their first 2-round matchups.